James Harden. James Harden turned back the hands of time and turned back into Houston Harden. And Skip, he had 45 points, which ties his career high, which he set in the Western Conference Finals in 2015. 7 years, 341 days is the longest span between 45-point playoff games in NBA history. I did not see this coming, Skip, because I saw no indication all year long that James Harden was capable of this. Now, I understand he's had to alter his game. He went to Brooklyn. He's playing with two other great players.
Yep.
I've got to alter what I do. I can't do what I do. What I did in Houston because I have more talent in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Okay, he comes to Philly and he alters his game again. He becomes even more of a facilitator, although he did lead the NBA in assists when he was in Houston. He has Joel Embiid, and the offense runs through him. So, Skip, I saw no indication this year for sure that James Harden still had this type of effort in him. But he did. He did, Skip. I mean, he took 30 shots. He made 17. Half of his three-point shots he made. A big difference in the first half was Shaq Melton. Because the 5 made threes that he had, Skip, along with James...
D'Anthony Melton.
D'Anthony Melton, the shots that he made, the three-pointers, he and James Harden was able to stay attached because Jason Tatum was going haywire.
D'Anthony made 4 in the second quarter, and it's like, huh?
Right. And see, while they were trying to run away, he says, no, let me keep you attached. But, Skip, you could tell in that... I could tell in that game. It felt to me, and maybe it's just my television, like you always tell me. It just seems like the Celtics thought without Joel Embiid, this team was just going to roll over. And Doc had them ready to play. And a lot of times we've seen that. We've seen teams underestimate another team without their best player. And last night, Doc got those guys ready to play, and James Harden especially came ready to play. And they made big shot after big shot. James Harden was in his bag. He had the great dribble penetration, and when they shut him off at the rim, he was dishing out and guys was making threes. I thought also the Celtics turned the ball over a lot down the stretch.
They did.
Marcus Smart had 4 turnovers in the second half, 2 in the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown turned the ball over. And I think the thing is the Sixers bought Joel Embiid another day or two rest. Because by stealing this, Skip, I don't think you're going to rush him back. Now, who knows? He was always... So what did they say? Oh, you think he might come back sooner?
Do I think Joel?
Yes.
I just think he'll be a shell of himself. They're telling me 20 to 30% of his capacity he'll be able to give them.
I don't know if that's I don't know if that's situation.
Yeah.
But I just and Tatum, the last made field goal was at 11:06, while Brown was at 6:11 in the fourth quarter. So Skip, those are your two big guns. They got to fire in the fourth quarter. And they shot duds. And that gave the Sixers enough opportunity to, like, hang around. And you know how it goes. Somebody hangs around, and James Harden started dancing on Al Horford. Hits a 3, and now you're like, man, what happened? We were supposed to win this game. No, now you find yourself, you had home court, and they just snatched it away from you. But the biggest difference was James Harden, because he went back to Houston Harden, and we hadn't seen that guy in a long time.
Okay. I concur with your final line. I did not think he had that left in him. And he very vehemently disagreed after the game with the reporters. He said, hey, I play a role for this team, and I'm going to remind you, for the second time, he led the NBA in assists this year.
Right.
And yet he said, if you want me to do the other thing, I'm fully capable of doing that, as I showed you tonight.
Right.
Well, maybe he is, and maybe he just sacrifices his scoring ability for Joel Embiid, or if we go back to Brooklyn, for KD and Kyrie.
Yeah, the likelihood of him getting 45 on that many shots with Joel Embiid in the lineup isn't very good.
Well, it's 0%, because I do believe Joel is going to win the MVP. And obviously he played at an extremely high level, thanks in part to point guard James Harden. And I kept telling you, he's turned into John Stockton this year, because, listen, we know how gifted this man is. You and I, going back to 2017, 2018, we were calling him the most gifted perimeter scorer we'd ever seen, right?
Yes.
And again, he won an MVP. He led the league in scoring 3 straight years. What was it, 2017, 18, and 19?
He averaged 36 a game for a season.
Okay, he did for a season. And for 3 years, he averaged about 33-ish, I think, to lead the league. Okay, so we saw that.
Score,
I mean, this is a wizard. This is a savant. This is a basketball genius who has sort of sublimated, sacrificed himself for the good of the cause in Brooklyn and then in Philadelphia. He doesn't look the same physically, and so that's where your eye test fails you. And it's hard to believe. Even last night, I kept looking at the box score saying, wait a second, he's already got 30? And then I'd say, wait, he's got 40 points? James Harden? He doesn't look in great shape to me even now. I know he's played through the year, and you say, well, doesn't he just play his way into shape? But I don't know that his nutrition is at its peak right now. I don't know that he follows the same plan of diet and exercise that LeBron James does.
All I know is I'm Doc. I'm sending him back to Vegas.
Okay.
If you're going to give me that kind of performance after he came from Vegas.
Let him do it. Okay. All right. Now, what happened to your Boston Celtics? Okay. First of all, bigger picture. I've been trying to tell you all year long, something is missing from this team. We've seen this team flex its firepower all along the trail this year. And you can show me that, like the Giannis game, that was it a Friday, Friday night where Giannis went? No, it was I can't remember, but it was not that long ago. It just seemed like 2-3 weeks ago. Giannis and company go up there and they lose by 41 to the Celtics. Right?
Oh, yeah, no, well, Boston went to Milwaukee and beat them by 41.
Okay, was it at Milwaukee?
Yeah.
I'm thinking the game at Boston, but whatever. The point is, they can do that.
Right.
And then they can lose twice at home to Orlando and 3 times total to Orlando. They can lose 3 times to the Knicks. And I know the Knicks are much better than they've been, but still 3 times. They could lose 3 times to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think Cleveland's very good, but they just got eliminated by the Knicks and went pretty quietly. And I watched your Boston Celtics lose to Washington, lose to Houston, lose to Oklahoma City. Not that that's any shame because they're on the rise, but I'm just saying there were a lot of times when I said, really? Are you sure, Shannon? Are you sure this team is coached as well and plays the type of defense it played under Ime Udoka a year ago? Because I'm not sure about that.
Well, Skip, they shot 59% from the floor.
Okay.
95%.
But what happened, all you need to do is look at the 3-point difference. Yeah. All you need to do is just that's your
well, 17. They're
okay.
20,
one team made
21.
17 and the other made 10. Okay, that's where you lost. You lost it by 21 points at the free throw line. I mean, at the 3-point.
You out-rebounded them by 10, Skip.
Okay.
You only committed 10 fouls.
All right, but you're losing my big picture point where this has been happening all year long to this team.
Yes.
Okay, so here it comes out, and it's tour de force in the first quarter. They make 17 of their first 20 shots in the first quarter to lead by 7. It is a layup line. It is a parade to the basket, and I'm saying this is going to get really ugly because there's no Joel Embiid, and so there's no rim protection. And I'm saying, Paul Reed, where are you? You got to get in somebody's way at the rim.
Aren't you concerned? They make 17 or 20, and they're only up 7 points. Shouldn't, if you make 17 or 20, shouldn't you be up 17?
Yeah, you should, and I'll buy that, except guess who started making threes? The other team started making threes, and James made a couple, and then they made 5 threes in the first quarter just to stay in touch.
Right.
And then I've told you this again and again on this show. When I'm rooting against the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown scares me a little more than Jason Tatum. Just a little more. I'm not knocking Jason Tatum. I'm just saying Jaylen Brown is a little more explosive to me than even Jason is. So what happens in the first quarter? Well, Jaylen Brown just goes off and scores 14 on 5 of 7 shots, right?
6 or 7 shots.
6 or 7 shots.
2 or 3 from 3.
Okay. And then what happens? Where did Jaylen Brown go? I don't know, because now I'm going to give you, I look at my other boxes here. Okay. The second quarter, Jaylen Brown doesn't take a shot in the second quarter. I don't know what happened. How do you go from 14 to no shots? Okay. Then I'm looking at the third quarter. Jaylen Brown takes 1 shot and misses it in the third. Really? 1 shot and misses it? Now I go to the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown actually took 2 shots, and he made both of them. But that's a grand total of 5 points with the free throws. So is that good enough? No, he made a 3-point shot. Right. So that's 5 total points. Well, what happened? And meanwhile, back at the ranch, Jason Tatum is taking all the shots. And
but he went for 20 in the second quarter.
Okay. All right. Okay. I got it. But in the end, I'm looking at field goal attempts. Jason Tatum had 25 and Jaylen Brown had 10. That's wrong. I got to tell you, something is out of whack there.
It seems like, Skip, like when JT gets it going, they get out of his way. Well, they need to extend the same courtesy to Jaylen Brown.
I think you're right about that. There needs to be a little bit more balance, because you can't ask Jason to put it on all the weight of the team on his shoulders. And he had a big game. He had 39-11. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
He pushes a little too hard, and he'll turn it over too much.
But he was good with it last night, Skip. He only had 1 turnover.
Okay. All right. So what happened? The one thing about the Sixers that I've loved all year is they will flat out fight you. Tyrese Maxey said after the game, we talked for 3 days about all we need to do, even without Joel, we just need to get to the fourth quarter. If we can get it to the fourth quarter and still be in the game, we'll be better than they are in the fourth quarter. The Sixers all year, trust me, because I watched just about every game, they have always been very good in the fourth quarter. And sometimes it's Joel, but sometimes it's James, and sometimes it's Tyrese, and sometimes it's DeAnthony Melton.
Well, isn't that the problem that plagued Boston last year with the fourth quarter?
It was.
They had. I mean, think about it. They were right there. They were right there with the Warriors every fourth quarter. And then what happened? They fall apart.
Yeah, and mostly that was turnover city.
Yes.
Okay. So they hang in, and James Harden had a different look in his eye to me because, you know what? It well might have been the first time since he left Houston, the first time that he said, you know what? I got a green light tonight.
Yes.
I can just be the old me. Where I could just see in his body language, he was just fearless. He was fire away James from Houston. He was, give me the ball and get out of the way because I'm going to dance on you and I'm going to shoot threes on you. And he made 7 of 14 threes. Okay. The other thing the Sixers do at a higher level than they ever have, to me, certainly under Doc, is I like them defensively. Again, they led the league in three-point shooting. They led the league in free throw shooting. But they're a top 10 defensive team because they will fight you on defense. So I'm going to show you the crucial possession late in this game where they fought Boston tooth and nail on defense and finally forced the turnover of the night, the only one by the sixth man of the year, which went to Tyrese Maxey, as you know. Okay, the point was, listen, Malcolm Brogdon was tremendous in this game, and he was tremendous all year. He lost his mind for a second. I don't know. He saw red. He saw the wrong color. He didn't see green. He saw red, and he throws it right to Tyrese Maxey, who's like,
oh, thank you.
What am I supposed to do?
Skip the overpass. I mean, sometimes, you get
but the D was there. They weren't getting clean looks from three that they wanted.
I'd have seen Jason Tatum pull that shot.
You have. If Jason Tatum had pulled off, anybody had pulled up, Marcus Smart for that matter, if anybody had pulled up and made a three right there, we're having a different conversation because that game is going to be over.
Or just shoot the ball, Skip. The one thing you didn't want to happen was a turnover and a clean breakaway. Anything other than that was better than what actually happened.
So I thought the clock had expired. I thought the whistle had blown. So did Tyrese. But to his credit, he finished the play. He could have stopped cold. He could have just stopped and said, oh, I give up because I think the whistle blew.
Well, he did kind of look back at the end like, okay.
No, he said, really? Should I just finish this or not? And he just kind of lays it in. And
he's like, okay.
Kind of an easy dunk of it. And all of a sudden you look up, wait a second, now we got a game. Okay? So they come down and Jason Tatum makes a couple of free throws, but it's still, they are in touch.
Yes.
And here we go with the end of the game. Joe Missoula decides, off the switch, don't double James Harden. Well, it's an easy hindsight second guess. Well, maybe you should have taken the ball out of James's hands. But
you do realize he got 42 at that point, right?
Yes, he does.
So he's feeling pretty good.
I got it.
He got you know he's cooking.
But the book going into the game would be let him shoot this.
Okay.
There's one of those late and close clutch stats where in his career playoff games he was 1 of 6 in the last 10-second shots to win or tie the game. So the point was, I think the Celtics are looking at his history. They're thinking this guy's kind of a shell of himself. Just let Horford D up.
It's been an hour. You talk about a minute, it's been some hours.
An hour, okay? And all of a sudden, he's feeling it to the point he just lets it fly.
But is it, Skip, given how, I understand the history, but given how he was playing and shooting the ball that night, don't you alter the way you think?
I would have. Again, it's an easy second guess. Somebody has to run at him and make somebody else beat you, even though Tyrese has been very clutch for them. Heck, DeAnthony Melton has made a lot of big shots for them. So they're all dangerous, and they had all their shooters on the floor because they had Niang on the floor, too. They can all hurt you.
Yeah, they took Reed out and put all shooters on there.
They did, okay? But the point is, to your point, the man's got 42. The man's made 6 threes already. Maybe this time you should throw out the book and just go off your... You need to coach to the moment.
Right.
You know, coach to the moment. What is the moment telling you? I don't want him to shoot another one.
That's what analytics got you beat.
Yeah.
So you got the analytics say, well, you see what he did? Well, this is what he did 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. What did he do what did he do tonight Are analytics giving you, giving you real time? If it giving you real information, not stuff that you fit into a computer that's going to spit it out to what he's done over the past.
Agreed.
I need something to give me something right. What your eyes tell you? Man, James cooking, right? We ain't seen James like this all year.
You are correct. That's what I would have said. Easy for me to say sitting here, but that's what I would have done. Instead, he makes a pretty implausible shot, though not at the moment.
No.
Okay.
No. So, given his history, we've seen him make a bunch of those.
Okay. We got it. Okay. So the shame of it is that a team without, I think, the MVP comes into your house as a 10-point dog. And they make you look silly at home. They beat you at your own game. They beat you shooting threes because they made 17 and you made only 10. But to your point, Shannon, you look at the numbers, you look at the whole box, it's pretty great.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because you do shoot 59% from the floor. That should win a lot of games. Right. You won the boards 38-28, right? That should do it, right?
Yep.
Okay. And yet, I'm looking at one category here.
Turnovers.
It's 16-6 in turnovers. Okay, that's where you level the playing field, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then my guy Paul Reed. I brought him up on the show numerous times. He's not great. He's not Joel, but listen, he played a very good basketball game with the pressure on him.
He gave you a double-double.
He gave you all you could have ever asked for because he did give you 13 boards and he did give you 10 points. And who stepped to the free throw line late? He did. He stepped up to the line and made his free throws. He made all 4 in a row when I thought he would miss a couple of them because he's never been in this situation before. Okay? So that's it. You lost. You're down a game with another game at home. I don't know what's going to happen with Joel. You can argue that right now they could be a little better without him because they might try to sort of feed the beast that's no longer the beast, right? And it could bog down.
Well, I think the thing is if James Harden is going to play like this, he's more than capable of winning you some games.
Yeah.
Because we've seen him before when he's Houston and he's getting them into the playoffs. They're winning series, even though it's just basically him. So he's more than capable. And now that's the one thing you don't want to have happen. A great player to go off. Because now you've triggered something in him to let him know. Because, Skip, it's easy for him to say, I can do this. I mean, but there have been games Joel Embiid didn't play, and he didn't do this.
Yeah.
But now he's like...
That's true.
And Doc's like, you got another one of those in you?
Yep.
You need one?
Because the script got so flipped that, remember, last time, it took Joel scoring 52.
Correct.
Joel scored 52, and there are a lot of, like, free throw line fadeaway jumpers.
And the thing was, Skip, they wasn't bringing a double. Or if it was coming, so Derek White is really, I don't consider Derek White a double. You got to bring 2 bigs.
Okay.
You bringing a guard, you bringing a 6'2" guard, and with Al Horford on a 7'2" big, that's not going to work. He just shooting right over the top of it. You created, I believe the Celtics created a situation they need to find themselves in. Because, like you said, the first quarter, they shoot 85% from the floor, 67% from the 3. They got 10 rebounds, 11 assists, and you only up 8 points. That needs to be a 45-20 ball, a 45-25. At least you need to be up 17 to 20 points.
For the game, the Celtics won points in the paint 66-42. Well, that should be ball game.
You plus 24 there.
Okay, you should win the game, and you figured out a way to lose the game. I think they're in some trouble because the Sixers have a lot of pride, a lot of heart that they haven't had in the past, and they will try hard on defense, though in the first quarter it didn't look like it because they were getting blown by everybody.
Right.
But the point is, if they get it close to the fourth quarter, there's going to be extreme pressure on the Celtics to try to win this thing after 3 quarters.
I need somebody, Skip, somebody going to have to explain to me. How Jaylen Brown goes 6 or 7 in the first quarter and only attempt 3 more shots the rest of the game. Now, somebody gonna need to tell me something. I need to have a conversation with Joe Missoula in private. And I don't need no team around. I don't need no execs around. You need to explain this to me.
It's either on him or it's on Marcus Smart or it's somebody, even on Jason Tatum. You got to get him some touches.
But you got Derek. Well, I mean, look, I don't look at Marcus Smart as a point guard. He's a big combo guard, but he's not a true facilitator.
Yeah, I got it.
But Derek White and Brogdon, y'all got to find a way to get this man the ball. The man gave you 14 in the first quarter.
All right, last quick point. I've told you again and again, it seems like everywhere P.J. Tucker goes, good things happen because he's not going to score because he didn't score. He played 39 minutes last night and scored 0 points.
It's the first time in the shot clock era a guy didn't attempt a free throw or a field goal. Since 53-54, that's when the shot clock was instituted.
What did he do in quarters 2, 3, and 4? He guarded Jaylen Brown.
Right.
Okay. So we all know. Is there anybody who will get up in you any harder and more physically and fiercer?
He might not score any points, but he's going to take his defensive assignment very seriously. Skip, you mentioned on the play that they got the pick with P.J. Tucker.
Yeah.
He did a very smart thing because if he'd have stayed where he was, they were going to send the double off of him. He went way up under the basket. Well, you can't bring the double. Here's the guy that's guarding him to double because now James Harden is going to raise up and he's going to have a layup.
Okay.
So give him credit for that. But, man, I've never seen a stat line like this, Skip.
Yep.
He did Skip, for 37 minutes, you don't attempt a shot?
No shots. But you did your part.
Skip, I got to get one shot. I got to say I attempted a shot to get in a playoff game. I got to say I got one up.
Yeah. There's no ego there.
Yeah, Skip, you got to get one shot up, Skip.
But this is seriously doing the dirty work, right?
So, all right, I catch you down at I catch you down at line. Yeah.
One.
Yeah. Oh, Skip, you doing a great job,
Listen,
Skip.
he has a reputation for those corner threes. He usually will make 2 or 3 a game.
Well, I got to get one of them up there. I got to take a layup. Do something, Skip. I just one shot.
Next.
I ain't going to kill us with one.
Game 2. He'll make 3 threes in game 2.
Oh, you taking the Celtics?
Mm-hmm. I had the Celtics before.
No, so you taking them in game 2?
Oh, well, we'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
Let's see what we hear about
You
Joel.
talking real big, right? I know you talking real. You got a lot of courage. You had a lot of courage right now. Look how you talking with your chest out.
You just lost at home as a 10-point favorite.
So?
Yeah.
You make it seem like y'all unbeatable at home. Watch we go on the road. We might take 2 from y'all at home.
You should, if there's no Joel.
Yeah, don't worry about Joel. It don't matter if he there or
You
not.
won this one last night. Shameful.
Whatever. Whatever.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.